I were to take you on a first date, how much would you want me to spend?
Wait for it. This will surprise some of you.
They want a man who makes $200,000 a month, but view basic adult survival skills like cooking as an automatic ick. The modern dating landscape in 2026 has officially decoupled from reality, and men are quietly choosing peace instead. Welcome back to the 1 Hour Network. If you want the unfiltered, logical truth about social dynamics, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's look at how Deep Lady J humbles these trash modern women.
Modern men have no courage.
Oh? Do tell.
Courage is something men used to pride themselves in. It was lumped into chivalry, part of being a man.
Anyone willing to bet this is about modern dating?
Now you don't even have the courage to go talk to a girl?
Ooh, it's fun to be right.
None of you are approaching women.
Why should they? There's countless videos out there of women telling men to leave them alone, and men are actually listening. And now some seem upset about that.
None of you seem confident.
How could they possibly be confident? What is considered to be the bare minimum and the requirements that some women have for dating keep shifting on a daily basis, from the unreasonable to the outlandish.
And coming from a girl, I swear to you, all it takes is a little bit of courage to stand out. Yes, the gym is going to help. Yes, fashion is going to help. Yes, you need to be a good man. But none of that is going to matter if you're not willing to put yourself out there.
The biggest thing that one isn't taking into account here is that a lot of men are just tired of all the games. They would actually just prefer the peace of being single.
Are you going to fail on many approaches? Absolutely. But who cares? I know it hurts, but what else are you going to do?
They're going to sit happily at home not having to worry about if they're tall enough, if they make enough money, or most importantly, who's cheating on them.
So much more control over your own destiny here. I'm too short, I'm too poor, modern women aren't worth it, feminism ruined everything, are just a bunch of lame-ass, cop-out excuses.
But are they? All this is really telling me is that ultimately, a lot of women really don't understand most men, and it shows.
I'm on my way to my first date in New York. You see how I'm getting there? By foot.
And this is a problem because why?
Meaning, I already know this man is not my husband.
So I think the real question should be, if someone is already aware that this person is not going to be their future husband, why exactly are they still going on the date? Oh yeah, that's right. Free food.
Because if he was, I would be in a car. He would have sent a car for me. I'm also going to be late. But you know what? If you are going to make me walk, I'm going to make you wait.
I'm going to go so far as to say that someone doesn't sound like they're very good at planning ahead or being able to take into consideration how long it takes to walk somewhere. But I will remind someone that it was their decision to walk. I mean, even in New York, there are multiple ways of getting around other than walking. It's almost as if there are multiple types of transportation. But then again, if someone didn't walk, then they wouldn't have had a reason to make a video complaining about some guy that they already know isn't going to be their future husband.
Do men know that girls are always purposefully late on a first date?
No, they're not. The women with manners and consideration for other people's time are on time, because if a person is late for a date, then that's a good indication that they don't value the other person's time.
If the date's at 8:30, I'm not going to show up at exactly 8:30 and be waiting there for you.
But why? That really doesn't make any sense, especially considering the following.
And if you're a guy, you should be showing up 5 minutes early.
So the guy is supposed to show up early, but the woman is supposed to be somewhat late? Oh my goodness, if it wasn't for double standards, some women would have no standards at all.
What do you guys think? Do you agree with this timing and when you should arrive at a date?
Frankly, no. And any person that would purposefully show up late to an event such as a date is already showing some signs very indicative of the fact that they probably don't have a lot of consideration for that person or the other person's time. And I know it might be old-fashioned to say this, but I really think that basic manners should really start to make a comeback.
That man, in order for it to be acceptable for you to be together, he needs to pay for a lot of things. None of that 50-50 shit.
Okay, but why? Why does the man have to pay for things in order to be in a relationship with a woman?
And still needs to treat you as a person with autonomy, have their own hobbies, and he should expect the chores that need to be done in the house, his own chores, to be done by himself. So, not only does he not get a maid in this situation, but he also has to pay a lot for the relationship.
What type of men are some of these women dating? Because honestly, most reasonable men aren't looking for a maid in a relationship. But I hate to break it to a lot of women out there, those same reasonable men aren't going to pay you to be in a relationship with you. There's a word for that.
So yeah, I am pro you treating her like a human being and you paying, because once these women wake up to the bullshit y'all have been putting them under and putting them through, yeah, you're gonna have to fucking pay to get women to even want to be around you for a couple of hours.
No dare. I'm really convinced that a lot of individuals that give this type of advice have never actually been in what is called a healthy relationship. They assume that all relationships with men are bad or toxic, which is really unfortunate because they're actually trying to encourage women to essentially sell themselves to be into relationships.
I just need to know from a men's perspective, are y'all waiting on girls to talk to you first? Like, are you waiting on a girl to ask you on a date first?
I would say that by and large, a lot of men would be pleasantly surprised if a woman actually made the first move.
'Cause that's crazy to me.
Why? When this
Point is, leave women alone. They don't want you.
is the type of thing that countless men see every single day pushed on social media.
Like, when you're out in public and you're making eyes with a girl and you're like making it known that you're attracted to her, but you're not gonna say something, how are you not gonna say something?
Because they keep hearing things like this.
Stop stalking them, putting them in vulnerable situations to try to get in their pants.
Is it becoming clearer yet?
What are the huevos? Where are the huevos these days?
Oh, the huevos still exist. They're just playing it safe and avoiding individuals with this type of mentality.
Each one of you are gonna go to hell.
And what man in his right mind wouldn't want to approach that?
My man to be assertive and dominant. If you want to say something to me, say something to me.
I think a lot of men are honestly just confused because that type of behavior has been called toxic masculinity.
I'll give you the opportunity, I'll put my phone down, I'll drop the handkerchief, but I'm not gonna do it first.
Of course not. Because after all, that would just be too easy.
This is why you should never accept a coffee date for a first date.
Alright, let's hear this one.
Perhaps it sounds convenient to you because you don't need to spend the whole evening with a stranger you may not like.
And despite the fact that that's a perfectly valid reason to go on a coffee date, let's hear why that apparently is not acceptable.
But a guy who just invites you for coffee shows such low effort, it almost shows as if he's not interested in getting to know you.
Based on what?
If he says, let that girl prove herself first before I'm willing to take her out for dinner.
Perish the thought. Because, you know, that actually almost makes sense. And we wouldn't want to do anything that makes sense, now would we?
Let me tell you what this says about you. If you accept a coffee date, that actually shows that you accept the bare minimum, and that shows how you see yourself. Because if you don't see yourself as being worthy of something more than just a coffee, how can he be convinced?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly engage in conversation and get to know each other over coffee. It's almost like that's the entire purpose, but one actually goes on to mention the purpose of dating.
The purpose of dating is to meet new people, and maybe to meet a potential boyfriend while having fun. But a coffee date doesn't sound like fun. It sounds more like a job.
To you?
I'll go sit there for half an hour, see if he's worth it, see if I like him, and then we're talking. And then it's the coffee date that becomes a waste of time, because how much can you get to know somebody in half an hour to an hour?
Well enough to know if they actually want to go on a second date, I'd imagine, if they actually engage in productive conversation.
Then take you out for dinner and enjoy it, and never forget you're a free woman. If you don't like the guy, kindly excuse yourself and leave.
A person can do that over coffee as well. But just imagine the amount of people that will end up being single if they listen to this type of advice, because they're not willing to accept a coffee date.
If a man offers a walk, a coffee, or a hike for a first date, he does not value you.
Really? So how much money a man spends on a first date now equates to how much he values her. Okay.
Or he's cheap, or broke, and he's not dateable.
Well, silly me. And here I was thinking the whole time that first dates were primarily about getting to know someone. But apparently, according to some, if a guy doesn't spend enough money, then he's just undateable.
But if you accept, you've got low self-esteem, and you gotta work on that.
Translation. For those women that don't solely focus on the amount of money that a man spends on a first date, it's rather highlighting those that do in a rather bad light. So they're naturally going to try to drag other women down to their level so they're not shown in such a bad light.
Well, you might be wondering, what do I do if a man offers a hike, a coffee, a walk for a first date? And the answer is simple. Ignore, ghost, unmatch. It's not even worth a second of your time to come up with whatever you're gonna say back.
I mean, a person could argue the value of communication and expressing a person's needs and wants. However, then there's this.
One might be saying, oh, well, what about communicating my needs? No, communication is for married people. Thank you, next.
It's been said before, and I certainly will say it again. But single women really seem to want to keep other women single.
I don't think my relationship standards are that difficult to understand.
All right, let's hear them.
Like, I'm a woman, so I want to be taken care of, obviously.
Why is that obvious? Not every woman wants to be taken care of in a relationship. Some of us actually want to be viewed as equal partners in the relationship, but each to their own, I guess.
But also, you're gonna have to understand that I'm the boss.
And how is that going to work?
But if I'm the boss and you're still taking care of me, it's like, do you have a spine?
My goodness, this potential relationship seems like one contradiction after another.
But then if you try to grow a spine and stand up to me, who do you think you're talking to?
They're talking to their future ex. That's who they're talking to. And for a lot of women, I see this being a common occurrence in the future, because there are a lot of women with mentalities such as these that really don't have the first understanding of what it is to be in an actual relationship. They want all of the benefits without any of the responsibilities of being in one. So I foresee there being a lot of very single, unhappy women in the future.
If I were to take you on a first date, how much would you want me to spend?
Wait for it. This will surprise some of you.
Less than $120.
That's right. And let's hear the common sense reasons why that is.
Why is $120 the max?
Because I don't really need anything. I can eat at Cheesecake Factory, Chili's. I can eat anywhere. Like, it's just food. Like, you could go to a taco spot, a food truck, and still have an amazing day. It's just about the connection and getting to know the person. The money shouldn't be a thing when you're going out to eat. You know, you could use that for something else.
Now that is absolutely true.
And steak is not going to make me fall in love with you or be more interested in you. Absolutely not.
Exactly. Just imagine if more women had that perspective.
What's gonna make you fall in love then?
The way he acts, the way he treats, if he's opening the door, how he carries himself, how masculine he is, the way he dresses.
She is not wrong.
Is there ever a point in time where a man should come to you about a decision, or should he handle it on his own all the time?
It depends. I feel like a very masculine man doesn't need my advice because he should know what's right from wrong. We always want to give you guys our point of view because, you know, we have instincts as women. So we tend to feel and see things in a different form than you guys, but not 100% like taking advice from.
Although this type of mindset does seem to be a rarity these days, it is rather encouraging that it still exists.
Have you guys ever noticed how women have way more competition than men in dating? Competition women have in dating is crazy.
Yes, some of us have noticed that, but it's not for these reasons that one is going to mention.
I swear I'm always seeing 10 out of 10 women drop dead gorgeous smoke shows just running around. Whereas men, I rarely see a good looking, well-dressed, fit man.
Now let's be very honest here. The main reason, or rather I should say, the real reason why so many single women find it very competitive in regards to finding someone to date is because at least 60 to 70% of those single women are after the same demographic of men. Those that fall into that 1% category, you know, over 6 foot tall and make over 6 figures. But if a person really thinks about it, the math is not in their favor because probably about half of those men are already married or in a relationship. So that means that about half of 1% of those men are single and available. So that means that there is an awful lot of competition for 0.5% of the male population.
If you're a man and you're broke or you live paycheck to paycheck, you shouldn't be dating.
Could someone be a bit more obvious that all they value in a man is money? I'm not so great with subtlety.
You're not necessarily a bad person, everyone falls on tough times, but as a man, how are you going to offer any kind of security to a woman if you can barely pay for dates?
Let's put a different spin on this. Since some women only value money, and some men only seem to value looks, that means that it would be okay for a man to say, if you're not attractive, you shouldn't be dating. I don't think that would go over very well, but apparently this narrative is okay.
Just get your life in order first and then date. It's really not that hard. People have come at me for this before.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
And they say things like, oh, so poor people don't deserve love? No, that's not what I'm saying.
True. Someone never said anything about people in general. They were referring strictly to men who are possibly not the most financially stable, that they shouldn't be dating, implying that they don't deserve to have a chance at happiness until they have enough money in their bank account. Right? Or did I somehow misunderstand that?
Obviously, if you're already in a relationship and you fall on tough times, that you just get through it together.
I'm quite frankly surprised they even said that part.
But if you are a man and you are seeking a relationship, get your finances in order first. Doesn't mean you have to be a millionaire, doesn't mean you have to pay all of her bills, but you should be financially stable enough to take her on dates, to buy her flowers. And you don't have gas money, that you should not be dating. Period, point blank, this is a hill I will die on. You can come for me if you want, but it is what it is.
Right. It is what it is.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Okay. Why isn't it?
And I can't believe I even have to say this.
But yet, here we are. So why isn't it a date?
It is low effort. You put zero thought into it.
Based on what? That the guy isn't spending a lot of money? Maybe he just wanted to get to know you.
If I wanted to go on a hot girl walk, I would call one of my girlfriends. You know, like I will go with the girlies.
Okay then, what exactly did you have in mind?
A date is something that you actually have to plan. A date is something that you are investing a certain amount financially into. It doesn't have to be a ton, but something.
No, a man does not have to invest money into a certain activity in order for it to be considered a date. That's rather materialistic minded of someone.
For example, if you wanted to go on a walk and then have a picnic, right? You have a couple snacks, maybe bring like some music you can listen to. Like, oh, this is a perfect view for a sunset. Like, let's put a little thought into it.
It's really sad that some individuals think that a relationship has to start out by someone spending money.
Even a guy that has no money, like if he wanted to, he would. He will find a way to figure it out. He will find a way to make it special for you.
It's almost like things can be made special and meaningful without money.
If a man is trying to take you on a walk, girl, run. Run. Not toward him. Away.
Just a thought, but if a woman needs a man to spend money on her in order for her to feel special, yeah, the woman's not the one that should be running in the opposite direction.
If you're a person who dates women, whether you're a straight man or a lesbian or bisexual or whomever, if you're a person who dates women and you don't date trans women, that's fine. You can date or not date whomever you like.
Well then, I suppose a lot of you, like me, were wondering what exactly was the point of making this video, if it's okay for people to date whoever they want to date. Because, well, we know that anyway.
But if you date women and you would never date a trans woman under any circumstances, you are just trans misogynistic, and there's not much use pretending otherwise.
And there we have it. I would like to say, however, that I'm inclined to disagree. I would also like to point out that a person can put whatever label they want on another person's dating preferences. However, that is not going to make most reasonable and rational people all of a sudden decide they're wanting to change their dating preferences just because you called them names. But I would like to also make mention that why don't we ever hear these conversations about women dating trans men? There's no big push for women to date people they don't want to date, but it's all about men needing to date people that they're not attracted to. Why is that?
So you guys just want to stay single, right?
True. A lot of gentlemen out there would honestly rather stay single.
Because why else would you stop approaching women in public entirely?
Other than the reason that a lot of women have told men to leave them alone, they don't want them in their lives and they don't need them, quite frankly, a lot of women's personalities really aren't conducive to an actual conversation, let alone a relationship.
Because I feel like back in the day, like early 2000s, maybe the 90s, it was so common for men to walk up to women and, start a little conversation. Nowadays, that does not seem to happen anymore.
A lot of men out there have woken up and seen what some women out there are really like. So, frankly, most of them would rather stay single than risk being with some of the types of women that they see every day on social media.
So tell me, why is it that you guys would rather just die alone?
Because a lot of men have realized that it's not only easier, but it's much more peaceful being single. And not only that, but a lot of men have woken up to the fact that they have self-respect, and they don't need to be in a relationship to be considered a complete person.
Men love toxic women.
No, the good men actually don't. Only toxic men like toxic women.
Men love women that are selfish, that are self-centered, that are self-obsessed, that are so busy fixing their own makeup in the mirror when another woman walks into the restaurant and he's checking her out.
Only men that are interested in having a woman around as a piece of arm candy are interested in women like that.
And why is it? Why is it that men are always ending up with the women? They don't really care about them.
Well, those men that this individual happens to be referring to don't actually care about those women.
The reason, my loves, is because they like things that are hard to get. Men are hunters, they love the chase, they love the thrill of the chase, they actually bond with you while they're chasing you, while they're pursuing you. They love to conquer women.
Right.
If you as a woman are self-obsessed, selfish, self-centered, it means
that you're likely going to end up in one of two situations, either with a man that genuinely doesn't care about you, or alone.
That you have non-negotiables about your own schedule, about your own life. You have an own exciting life because you freaking love yourself.
Let's be very clear about something here. In order for a person to be in a healthy relationship, both individuals in that relationship should be happy with themselves and love themselves. And remember that someone who is truly happy with themselves won't be toxic to others simply to get a reaction.
Not dating trans people is not a preference.
What? What then, I wonder, would someone consider that thinks like this to be a preference.
Not dating blondes is a preference. Not dating people who are, I don't know, shorter than 5'6" is a preference. Not dating people with brown eyes is a preference.
Let's just take a moment to recognize the irony of them pointing out that all of the legitimate preferences, in their opinion, happen to be characteristics that a person is born with. But why doesn't that include gender?
Being trans is not a specific characteristic.
Oh, really?
Thus, you can't label it as a preference. That's just called bigotry.
I've always been of the opinion that a person should be able to date whoever they choose to date and have their preferences be whatever it is. But now there are individuals out there actually trying to dictate what preferences are allowed.
No one's forcing you to date trans people, but don't cover up your discriminatory bias in the name of preference, because the logic doesn't add up.
Yes. Let's bring logic into this, because there are individuals out there that will actually try to shame others for who they choose not to date because they have a characteristic that that person doesn't find attractive. And that goes up into and including a person's actual gender.
Where are the men that actually care about emotional connection?
Well, the first place that some women should look that are actually asking that question would be the friend zone. You know, that place that a lot of women put men that actually show them kindness, consideration, and understanding. Try looking there first.
Like, where are the men that actually want to build something with their person?
And the second place that some of these men will be found will be sitting quietly in their homes, enjoying the peace and tranquility that comes with being single.
Like, where? Where are they?
One's not going to find them up there.
Because I don't understand. It's just like that's long gone. Emotional, spiritual, and mental connection is completely fucking gone, apparently.
No, it's not. But a lot of women forget that part of actually finding that connection would involve listening to their partner, not just their partner having to listen to them.
And all they really care about is physical attraction and gaining physical attention. So
that might be in large part due to a lot of women only being focused on a man's finances.
I don't know what kind of world we're living in, but honestly, if someone is not willing to connect on a mental, spiritual level, like, it's just not happening. I'm sorry.
We are living in the kind of world that modern feminism has created.
If you, as a woman, have a husband and you are not a man hater, I don't trust your husband.
Oh no, not that. Some random woman with bigoted views doesn't trust your husband because you're not as bigoted as they are. How awful.
I don't trust him. I probably don't like him.
I'd be rather curious to know how many women out there that are actually sensible would care that some woman who despises all men thinks about their husband. A lot of people really overestimate the importance of their own opinions.
Probably doesn't treat you right. You probably don't run the right program for that man. Like, if you have a man, but you don't generally hate most men, right? Not all. I don't trust your husband.
Maybe they don't understand the definition of hate. That's entirely possible. It is so often overused these days.
Because the man-hating women that ended up with a man, they're the real one.
Yes, indeed. They're the real ones that most sensible men want to avoid.
And they have vetted that man that's there. They have vetted him. They know everything about him, inside out, upside down. And I would trust that man.
It's really unfortunate that some women out there really don't have a lot of respect for other women, unless, of course, they think in the exact same way that they do. Or otherwise, they would know that women who even love and respect men actually do vet their partners. But they would know that if they actually climbed out of their echo chamber once in a while.
The last people on this planet who need to be giving women dating advice is men.
And why is that?
I hate to break it to you guys, but when it comes to dating, women are the ones who have power and control.
Interesting. And what is that theory based off of?
I'm the one who has so many matches that I can't even go through them. Not you.
Of course. Yet I feel this is leading up to something.
I'm the one who gets asked out so many times per week that I literally just don't reply back to people. Not you.
But yet, I feel that there's something that one is definitely not taking into consideration here.
But one thing I know about men is they think their opinion really, really matters. Even when it doesn't. And boy, do men like to give opinions in areas where they're not even experts.
Ah, yes, of course. But do remember, at the end of the day, it's usually men that control marriage, because men marry who they want, while women marry who they can.
Ladies, if you are beautiful, smart, and successful, you will have by far the hardest time in dating.
Sure. That is what some women have to tell themselves.
And it's not because you're lacking in any way. In fact, it's the opposite.
Oh, do tell.
As you've probably experienced, many men think they want a confident, independent woman, but when it comes down to actually meeting one, it's a whole different story.
Really? That statement right there tells me that one actually hasn't been listening to what men actually say that they do want.
These men know that you don't need them in a traditional sense, so unless they're extremely secure, which most people are not,
Is that the voice of experience speaking?
brings up a ton of insecurities for them and challenges their masculinities.
No, it doesn't. But if one wants to continue telling us that one doesn't actually know anything about what men actually want, then by all means, continue.
They know you don't need them, they may feel some lack of control over the situation and be afraid that you're gonna leave them for someone better. Some of these men might even resent you and feel kind of competitive with you. In any case, a lot of these men end up deciding that they'd rather commit to a woman who seems less challenging to them and ultimately less threatening to their ego.
Okay, it's time for a bit of brutal honesty here, which I know is going to hurt some women's feelings. But it doesn't matter how beautiful, independent, or strong a woman is. At the end of the day, if she has a bad attitude that doesn't do anything to bring any sort of joy, happiness, or peace to a man's life, that woman isn't worth that man's time. It doesn't matter what a woman wants to tell herself, but if her attitude is crap, then that man isn't going to choose her. I'm sorry, ladies, but that's the truth.
100%. If we see a man who says he's conservative, it is an automatic swipe left. It does not matter what he looks like. And me personally, at this point, if I see a man listed as moderate as well, it's usually a swipe left too. Because we all know what that usually means.
Oh, this should be fun. What does that usually mean?
I think the fact that conservative men absolutely refuse to listen to women when we try to explain to them why we don't want to date conservative men.
So we're starting out with the logical fallacy of composition. This will be a great one.
And then they choose to proceed to be conservative, and then immediately complain that they're confused as to why women don't want to date them, and they don't know why.
So please, do explain why.
It's an ironic, perfect embodiment of like the lack of critical thinking and self-awareness. You know, like the ability to step outside of your own experience and listen to others.
Oh, the irony is strong with this one, isn't it?
But the Conservative Party embodies as a whole, making a lot of women like me not want to date them.
Still waiting as to why.
My best friend used to be moderate, and our friendship ended for different reasons, kind of. But a lot of his close friends were conservative men.
If at some time one could actually get around to making a point, that would be fantastic.
At the end of the day, if you're someone who's voting against my rights and my family members' rights, that means that you don't think that we deserve to have the same rights as you.
I can't wait to hear what exactly those rights are that one thinks that people supposedly have that conservative men are voting against.
I would never date someone who doesn't see me and my family members as equals.
Logical fallacy of division.
We're always so confused because they were like, how do you get so many matches? And we're lucky to get like 5 in a week. And I was like, yeah, you're all really good looking. And I don't really see this from my other guy friends. Like, they get a decent amount of matches here and there. But my other guy friends lean towards the left end of things. So I hate to say it, but your dating pool is going to be significantly more limited. And if Tammy Lynn and Ashley aren't your type, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably not going to get a ton of matches.
Well, happily, most conservative men that I know value quality over quantity.
When looking at a screen full of entitlement, it becomes very easy to see why the highest earning, highest value men are choosing to stay home in their own peace. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to see the exact moment the provider illusion completely crumbled for modern women, click on this video right here. Stay grounded, and I'll see you over there.